Hey everyone, welcome to Core Connections, your health, fitness, and wellness podcast designed so you can take control of your health to live the active life you love. I'm your host, Erica Zeal, and for 20 years now, I've been helping women live a healthy, active life pain-free. And in order to live an active, pain-free life, it is essential that you learn and understand how to effectively strengthen your pelvic floor and deep core. And that's exactly what you can begin learning with my free pelvic floor guide. So head on over to my website, ericazeal.com/pelvic floor to get started today. Okay, today, because, we're heading into some cooler weather, I thought it was important that we talk about some ways that we can help to boost our immune system, our kids, our family's immune system. And of course, maybe you can't check the box on all of these, but do the best that you can. And I think it's so important even just to have the reminder of so many things out there and how they can be positively or negatively impacting our immune function. And I feel like even before we start with all of these ideas and tips, I just want to remind everybody that, getting sick, it does happen once in a while. And something that I always, I remind myself, I remind my family when we do get sick with something that it's boosting our immune function, right? It's our body saying, maybe you got really wiped out and your body's like, I just can't fight it off anymore, which is why a lot of the things we're going to talk about really, really matter. So just remember too, that when we do get sick from time to time, it's boosting our immune system. We are building our immune system. That said, if you're getting sick often, then, there might be some underlying things that are contributing to your immune system being knocked down on a regular basis. So a lot of what I talk about can also be beneficial with that. But I'm not going to go super deep on specific immune function things. These are kind of overall wellness things, specifically, related to boosting our immune function this time of year as it typically gets colder here in the States. Not for everybody, but those of you that live in the Midwest or North, like I do, we're getting into colder weather. People are indoors more, right? So we're not getting outside and getting that fresh air and getting sunlight. And even if you do get sunlight here, we're not getting any vitamin D. So those of you that don't know if you're getting much vitamin D at all, I know there's an app out there. You can search it and download it and kind of track and see how much vitamin D you're getting when you are outside. It's a cool one to use, especially in the summer. This time of year, like I said, it can kind of be cool to see like how little vitamin D that you're getting and how much we may actually need to be getting from supplements. So I know I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit, but that's a big one. Sunlight is very important. So getting outside when you can, even if it's like bundling up and just your face just showing, just the act of getting outside, breathing in fresh air, moving your body outside, I think is so important when we can. And this was something I had to really work on when I moved back to the Midwest from Southern California, because it's obviously a lot colder back here. And I had to do a lot of mental reframing for myself to get myself outside. I am a mover. I like to be outside, but my gosh, when it's cold outside, I know some of you are totally agreeing with me that you're like, it's really hard to get outside and move because you just want to stay all bundled up and warm, but it actually can be so good for us, for our immune system, not only the movement aspect, but being outside, getting that fresh air. And when you bundle up, and believe it or not, like for me, I have found that my limit is 0 degrees with wind chill, right? So if we got below wind chill, below 0, I'm out. But up until that, I have built up my tolerance to where I know how to layer, I know how to bundle up, and I worked on my mindset to get me outside and moving. Finding activities that you like to do outside. So once we get snow, right? Strapping on snowshoes and getting outside, moving. That is something that I have enjoyed doing. Now, where I'm at, we can't always get those snowshoes on because you do have to have like at least 5 or 6 inches typically of snow so that you're not hitting the ground underneath you. But there's so many fun things you can get outside and do. Go sledding. So if you've got little ones, get out there and go sledding with them when there is snow. But before snow comes, of course, bundle up, get those layers on, and get outside, get moving, find a podcast you like to listen to, find music, a book on, audio, something like that. So just get creative and start with little bits. If you're like, gosh, I'm someone who can't get outside and it's 20 degrees or 30 degrees, start with like 5 minutes. Just go outside, walk around the block or whatever it might be, and slowly just build up your time out there. It really is possible to do it, because I was someone who really used to not like cold at all. And it used to be, I used to say it was painful for me. And it no longer is, because I've worked on so many different things and elements. And one of those really is a mindset shift to getting outside. So get outside, get outside, get outside, get outside, get that sunlight when you can, get moving. And if it is too cold and you're not able to get outside, sitting near a window for part of a day, just sitting in that sunshine. I think you all know what I'm talking about, right? Just sitting in that sun can just make you feel so good. Now, if you live in an area where it is gloomy a lot, getting yourself a yellow light, they have these specific ones. So you can go look for, they call it like, it's like SAD, right? Seasonal, depression basically is what it is, by those of us that are more affected by light. So if you notice yourself feeling just a little bit more down and gray, literally the days that it is just a little bit more gloomy and gray outside, and you notice you always feel better when the sun is shining, you likely could benefit from one of those light lamps. And they're usually pretty inexpensive. It's something you can like sit on your desk and you just want to sit in front of it, I don't know, 10, 20 minutes in the first part of the day. Don't do it in the evening, because it can kind of wake you up. That's part of what it's supposed to help do. It's amazing. Light therapy is so cool. So something to definitely possibly look into if you can tell that you are affected by gray weather or when the sun is out. So super, super beneficial. Okay. Obviously, I'm the first person to tell you, get moving. I've already talked about that with getting outside. But that said, you've got to keep up, whether it's your Pilates stuff you're doing with me, your deep core strengthening, your lifting weights, something. And I recommend all of you doing some form of strength training, whether it's the body weight stuff, kettlebells, things like that I teach, or you're getting into the gym some, right? Doing strength of some sort, honestly, on a daily basis as best as you can. Even again, if it's only 10 or 15 minutes, it's still so beneficial for your body, because what's it doing? It's keeping you strong, helping you to become stronger, which when our muscles are stronger, when we feel stronger, we feel more confident. It helps just boost us in so many ways. It helps us set us up for a better mindset throughout our day, which can help us in so many ways. It really can help us with our immune function. And we'll talk more about mindset in a little bit. But moving, doing something every day. So even when you're not getting outside those days, getting your mat out, getting your weights out, you've got to get moving. And then it's also really good for our lymphatic system. Keeping our lymph moving is really, really important for our for our immune function. Because if our lymph gets stagnant in our body, we're not clearing junk out of our body as often as we need to. Okay. So that is also why movement can be beneficial. Those of you that have done my fascial ball rolling work, the fascial lengthening stuff with the teal ball, why is that so important? Why do you feel so good when you do that? Because I get so many people that say, well, I feel like I'm not doing very much when I'm doing that. But they're like, but yeah, I feel so good when I'm doing it, or especially right after I'm doing it. Well, it's because you're really connecting in with your body, because it's making you slow down and focus on your breathing and your movement. It's also really amazing for helping to open up and move your lymphatic system. And that is so important for our immune function. So maybe there's some days where you're like, yeah, I just don't really feel like doing a hard workout or even doing my Pilates movement or whatever it might be. Grab your ball and do some ball rolling. That in itself can do wonders for your body. Absolutely. So amazing, amazing. Keep moving, ladies. Don't stop moving. Even if you're feeling a little like under the weather. Yes, I know we need to rest. But doing some of that ball rolling and lymphatic movement can be really, really good, even when you're starting to feel under the weather. Sleep. I started to say that, right? Rest is important, and we have to prioritize our sleep. I always say you cannot out supplement or out eat crappy sleep. When I work with clients, especially, we do a deep dive, and I can tell you the clients who really prioritize their sleep, they get results faster. Their immune system, their cells, everything just has more time to rejuvenate and heal and repair itself than if we're running ourselves ragged. Then obviously we're leaving ourselves more susceptible to getting sick. I know you all know this. I'm here to remind you that as we head into the holiday season, head into these cooler months, that it can be really easy to get caught up in all the hustle and bustle. I mean, trust me, you guys, I'm building a Pilates studio. We're going to be opening soon, and I got plenty to do. And for me, I am still prioritizing my sleep. I will work on the weekends if I need to, or other hours, but we have to prioritize our sleep. Like, you just have to. Okay. So prioritize that sleep, even if it means you're having to say no to maybe some other things going on in life right now. Okay. One of my favorites is sauna. Now, I love sauna. Sauna is incredible. Getting your body in a sauna. If you can, if you have access to one that's like a high heat sauna, that's great. Getting that sweat on. It's so good for your immune system. It can help to kill viruses and things in the body. So if you are starting to come down with something, maybe you don't even know it yet, and you're getting in a sauna, it can help to kill viral load in your body. It's so amazing. Plus it helps detoxification. It's going to help improve your lymphatic system because you're sweating and moving things out. It can help improve cellular function. So many things. I mean, so many people I work with, and myself included, get in a sauna, and man, when you get done, you step out and you're like, gosh, I just feel like a new person. Now, I'm a huge fan of far infrared saunas over the high heat. There's nothing wrong with high heat. And if that's all you have access to, by all means, please do that, as long as you feel okay doing that high heat sauna. So I love far infrared saunas, and this is why we're going to have a couple at my Pilates studio, because I am so passionate about sauna and how powerful they are for our health, for prevention, for helping us to heal our body, wherever we're at in life. I think every single person needs to be getting in a sauna once a week if you can, twice a week if possible. It's so incredible. And when you can get in a far infrared sauna, what that far infrared light heat is doing is it's penetrating through your body deeper into your cells, helping to push junk out of your cells. So it's going to help to, if we're holding toxins, which we all have toxins in our body, even those of us that have done a lot of detoxification, there's always that exposure that we're getting. So we still need to be just working to move things out of our body. And some of us need more assistance than others, which is why sauna is so great for this. So thinking about that far infrared is really getting into your cells and helping to push toxins out of your cells. And then you're sweating that stuff out, and then you're going to poop and pee it out right through your body. And it can just make you feel so incredibly amazing. And that's why I love the far infrared versus just the high heat. The high heat's great. We know there's absolute massive benefits to just doing sauna in high heat. I just work with a lot of people who say, gosh, I feel so much better in a far infrared, because we get massive benefit without having to be at such high heat temperatures. Now, that said, for all of you that do the far infrared, make sure when you're in a far infrared sauna that the temperature is rising while you're in there. So a lot of times I'll tell a client, hey, start it at 100, 110, 120, set it 20 degrees above that while you're in there so that it's on and rising. Because if we just stop at a temperature, then that heat stops penetrating your body. So, and if it gets too hot, you can just open the door, let a little heat out, and then keep the door closed, and it'll keep working its way up. But so beneficial doing saunas, especially the far infrared sauna. Absolutely love it. Okay, we have to talk about nutrition here. And recently, I feel like on social media, I've been seeing this kind of quote go around, like, is it really truly flu season, or is it just like sugar overload season that's really making us sick? And I was like, that's a very valid point. We know when you eat sugar, it decreases your body's immune function temporarily. So think about it. How often are you eating sugar? And every time you eat it for, a handful of hours, it's knocking down your immune system, or your kids, for example. And we want to really try to have good, robust immune systems. We can't do that and eat a bunch of sugar and crap at the same time. So more than ever, it is so important to eat good, solid nutrition when we're trying to support our immune function. So the sugar has to go, or what I'll say is be very choosy with the sugar that you're going to eat. And when you are going to eat sugar, make sure you've had good quality protein and fats before it or with it, because that one will help your blood sugar to stabilize and not spike. It really matters how food combinations, how we eat, specifically, eat animal protein, eat good quality fats every single time that you eat can help your body from that perspective, and then really minimize the sugars. I'm not saying you can't ever have any, but be picky, be choosy, be like, is it worth knocking down my immune system to eat that? Or would I rather have something else that's healthier and really actually going to satisfy my hunger and help me leave me feeling more energized than depleted and drained? And sometimes when it comes to cutting the sugar, because we can become addicted to sugar, right? Is start thinking about how can I work on decreasing my sugar. And again, one of the easiest ways, instead of thinking about, oh, I can't have this cookie or the whatever in my, coffee latte or whatever it might be, is starting to focus on what you should eat more of. Eat more animal protein, ladies. I cannot stress that enough. Every single meal have some animal protein, have some good healthy fats. If you can focus on that, it can really help to knock down your sugar cravings massively. And make sure you're eating enough food. I would say the vast majority of you are not eating enough food. And I know that sounds crazy. We're not going to get into weight loss and all that right now because we're talking about immune function, but make sure you're eating enough food also. Okay. Good quality, healthy food. Okay. So let's move on and talk about supplements, because that always comes up when we start talking about immune function. What should I be taking and what should I be taking on a regular basis and all of that. Okay, so I'm going over some top ones. There's always going to be others out there, of course, but one of my top one is vitamin C. Absolutely love vitamin C, you guys. Liposomal vitamin C, even better, because it's going to, you don't, especially if you take it sublingual underneath your tongue, where you let it sit 30, 90 seconds before you swallow it, because then it's going to hit your bloodstream a lot faster than having to go through your GI tract. So that's why I love liposomal products when we can get them. They are more expensive, but just know that your absorption rate is likely much higher for liposomal products. So vitamin C is awesome. Now, I will talk about this with some supplements, and taking them, we talk about it as like pulsing them, where you're not taking it every single day forever. It's about taking it for a period of time, taking a break, taking it for a period of time, taking a break. That can be really, really powerful with supplements that help to boost our immune function. So thinking about, like, this week is Thanksgiving here in the US, right? So a lot of you may be traveling, having people to your house. Today is a great day to start boosting up. If you haven't already, go ahead and start taking those extra immune boosting supplements for this entire next week and longer if you're still traveling. And then maybe when you get home, you take them for a couple days longer. You give yourself, a couple days to a week break, and then maybe you want to start them again. Or if you notice people around you starting to get sick, or if you are starting to feel a little bit like, I'm starting to feel those initial signs of scratchy throat or the sniffles or whatever it is, it's a really good time to then go ahead and boost up your immune supplements. So vitamin C is definitely one of those. I know people that take it every day, and that can be fine. But you might find, okay, if you do take it on a daily basis, then maybe you need to bump it up from there, or maybe you take, again, a couple days break from it here and there. And there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, bone broth, collagen, believe it or not, can actually help improve cell function. So I wanted to include them on my supplement recommendations, or things for you to look into. Of course, just remember that with any supplements I talk about, please continue to do your own deep diving, because I am not a doctor, but I want to bring up ideas and recommendations for all of you listening. And then you need to then take it to your doctor, do some deeper digging for you and what feels like the best fit for your health and wellness right now. So drinking bone broth, adding collagen. You guys all know I love both of those for, collagen, fascia, all of that. So your collagen synthesis in your body, vitamin C, collagen, super important from that aspect, but also really awesome for immune function and cell function as well. Okay, electrolytes. Love electrolytes. Mineral support is really everything for our body. It helps cell function. Remember how I mentioned with the sauna? Sauna can help to push stuff out of our cells. And when we start to improve our cell function, which requires good quality minerals to do that, which is why I'm a huge fan of electrolytes, that we want to make sure we're getting enough minerals. Believe it or not, just adding a good quality electrolyte on a daily basis in the first part of your day can help improve your energy and immune function because it's improving cell function. So that is one of the first things I always recommend is starting good electrolytes. Now, you guys, one of the top brands out there that I see everywhere is loaded with added sugar. Please, 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 always, always, always check those electrolytes that you are drinking. We do not need electrolytes with added sugar. Save the sugar for the yummy treats that you want from time to time. Get picky with your added sugar and things. So please, do not drink electrolytes with sugar. You don't need them. There's so many good ones out there that do not have sugar in them. Okay, off my little rant and rave about sugar and electrolytes, like, drives me bonkers. Okay, vitamin D3 and vitamin K. If you're not taking vitamin D3 and K, you probably should be. Now, that said, I think it's also important to get your levels tested. And most people do not have high enough vitamin D levels in their body. And so everyone has to supplement. I'm sure not all of you do, but a vast majority of you likely do. I rarely see anyone that has high enough vitamin D levels. And especially if you live in an area where this time of year, you're not getting any vitamin D from your sun, you have to supplement with it. So definitely something to test. If you have not had that lab tested, go have your doctor order it, go get your vitamin D level tested to see where you're at. And you need to make sure you have high enough levels. If you're on even the quote lower within normal, you could benefit likely from adding some vitamin D. So if you're not in that middle to higher range of the normal standard labs for vitamin D, you should likely be supplementing. So talk with your doctor how much you should be taking. But vitamin D3 with K, you need to have K with your vitamin D. So vitamin D is really important also to make sure that we are getting calcium actually into our bones, and vitamin K, we need to make sure we're having with vitamin D. So we make sure that any calcium that we are getting is going into our bones, and also for immune function. They work really, really well together. So I always will recommend vitamin D3 with K. There are always outliers to some people who can't have vitamin K. So again, always be searching more for your body to see what is best for you and if you're on any medications and things like that. So make sure you always double check that you're good to take vitamin D3 with K as well. Okay, zinc and quercetin. Zinc, a lot of people are deficient in zinc. We don't get enough zinc. Now, when you take zinc, don't ever take it on an empty stomach, you guys. Actually, most all vitamins, you're not going to take on an empty stomach unless they are liposomal. And in that case, because they already have the phospholipids, the fat in them, you are probably okay. It likely will not upset your stomach. But if you're not sure and you are taking a liposomal zinc, you still might want to take it with a little bit of food. But zinc that is non-liposomal, and again, vitamin D and K, and you also want to be taking with food so that we're going to absorb those nutrients better. And there is some research out there saying that we absorb zinc better if it is taken with quercetin. So just a little side note, something to, be aware of. And again, we could go deep into copper with zinc and the balance of that. But I wanted to just mention specifically for immune function, zinc and quercetin. And zinc is one of those where some of you may benefit taking it on a regular basis. Others of you may be getting enough of a smaller dose from a multivitamin, but you notice when you need to boost your immune system, you need to boost it up with an actual immune supplement that has zinc and quercetin in it as well. And then lysine or L-lysine, which is an essential amino acid that our body must get from food, can help with viral load. So that's kind of an interesting interesting thing that has come up is coming up more often about taking L-lysine if you are starting to get a viral something or other, or with cold sores or shingles, things like that. It comes up. So I'm just going to mention that. And if that's something that piques your interest, definitely go do some more digging on that. And again, not necessarily something I would say to take on all the time by any means. That is definitely something to take around a time if you start noticing you're getting cold sores or starting to feel under the weather, things like that. And then obviously there's elderberry syrup. Again, trying to minimize sugar with elderberry. That's the biggest thing, is minimizing that sugar we're taking even when we are getting good quality elderberry. So again, this is where sometimes with supplements, well, I won't say sometimes, all the time, you are going to pay for what you get. So I don't recommend buying the cheapest supplements out there. You want to make sure you're getting good quality supplements, which is why everything we have in my store, I only source the best of the best that I can get access to for you guys. So that's it. That is so important to me, for all of you, that I help give you access to really good quality source supplements. And then there's homeopathic, and I love homeopathic. I even have my kids say when we do homeopathic, they're like, Mom, I don't know, but this stuff really works, right? It's so funny. So homeopathic is incredible, right? We are all energy in our body. And so when we are doing the homeopathic stuff, it's absolutely, it just continues to amaze me how well it works. So love homeopathic stuff as well. It's always good to have on hand. There's so many different things out there with that, but go to your natural grocers, your Whole Foods, things like that. Search online for some good quality homeopathic supplements to have on hand for, like, flu season, colds, all that stuff. It can be absolutely incredible. Okay, so the last one we have to finish with, which I kind of started with, but we're going to circle back to it, and that is mindset. So remembering that even when you are starting to feel under the weather, looking at what your body is doing. Our body is absolutely amazing. And as much as we all want to feel like freaking amazing 24/7 all the time, that's just like, that's not life. Now, I'd like to say you can feel really freaking good most of the time. Yes, absolutely. I believe that we can, but we also have to recognize when, you know what, our immune system just, it needs to be boosted, and maybe it was time for us to take a little time off anyway. And this is what our body needs right now, right? So just remembering that. And I always feel like it's so powerful when we can remind our body of that. And we do say, okay, you know what? Yes, this sucks. It sucks being sick, but it's my body boosting its immune system. And when you can flip and look at it like that in more of a positive way of how your body's actually getting stronger and healthier because it's boosting your immune system, rather than you feeling like, yes, I'm feeling knocked down right now, but what's actually happening in your body right now is your body's recognizing this viral load or whatever it might be. And you need to rest. You need to push fluids. You need to, boost your nutrients, all those things that your body needs to really repair itself. And before you know it, you'll be better, faster. You'll feel stronger in the end, even if stuff lasts longer than you want. And I think then too, in those downtime, like, take that time to, instead of feeling like, oh gosh, there's all these things I need to be getting done that I'm not getting done. Again, that's normal human thoughts. I have them too, but I want to remind you all, like, okay, if you aren't feeling well, like, again, take that time to really rest, listen to some, meditations, listen to something that you've been wanting to just kind of like mindlessly, watch or listen to, or whatever it might be that you're kind of being called to do in a way that helps you to rest. And I think that we don't talk enough about that. We are always so go, get everything done. We have 1,000 things on our to-do list. I mean, I get it. I feel like I get a couple done and like double that lands on the to-do list. So I understand that, right? But I think it's a really good reminder that we have to take care of ourselves. We really, really do. And when we can apply, again, you don't have to do everything that I talked about. Pick the ones that resonate with you the most. And I'll say, side note, if I have to recommend one, I'm going to say the sugar. Sugar's a big one. Eat that nutrition. If you have to pick one and you can't pick one, I'm going to tell you right now, pick the nutrition one. And then probably number 2 would actually be even mindset. Mindset. Well, maybe we should flip those. Mindset should be number 1. Nutrition should be number 2. We get those moving in the right direction, keeping those things moving in the right direction, especially as we're into holiday season and there's so much more sugar around us, and we might be having to be around people who are a little bit more negative, and maybe we don't really see eye to eye with them. There's so much you can do, and you have the power within you to think about that from a mindset perspective of how you want to think about your health and your wellness and your nutrition and movement and all of those things. And again, you don't have to do everything on this list that I talk about today, but again, for you, where you are right now and with what you know you've got going on in these next coming cold winter months, just think about what things resonate with you that you feel like, I can do these things and I know that they can help support my immune system. So I hope this was helpful. Reach out to me if you have any additional questions. Of course, if there's something I talked about that you would like me to go deeper on in a future episode, I am definitely happy to do that. I always want to hear what you all want to learn from me. What other questions do you all have? So of course, feel free to reply to any of my emails that you receive. You can always find me on Instagram at Erica Zeal. And of course, please share today's episode with others that you feel could benefit from today's. And I look forward to seeing you all back next week.